Oh my gosh, look at the eyes. Ah.
Talking.
What
was that? Cough.
So, I have started to learn British Sign Language. For years, and I mean years, I've been meaning to do this, to make it my New Year's resolution, to do it, to follow through, and not getting anywhere. And I mean years. The first time I made it, a New Year's resolution, was 2009, so it was before then. But now I am doing it, and that's thanks to YouTuber Jazzy, whose links I shall put up here and link below. I shall also link her course down below, which is very reasonably priced. I was reading something recently by a young chap called Lucas, who spoke to young minds about his hearing impairment and mental health. Again, link it below. He comes across as a very great, young, enthusiastic chap with a great philosophy for living life to the full, but also happy to admit that his hearing impairment has created challenges and caused him anxiety and upset. He speaks of very simple things, just like talking to people and having to ask them to repeat themselves, and after a few times it's just kind of like, never mind. And things like just going out somewhere requires extra time, extra thought, extra preparation. It's not simple, and this can make him and people in his position feel socially isolated. Lack of awareness and representation does seem to be an issue from everywhere, like going to the cinema where there are no screenings with subtitles, for example, and speaking to a customer service representative who is completely unprepared for dealing with someone who has hearing impairment. And it goes further than that. A load of stuff I'd never even thought about. For deaf people, things like getting an appointment, speaking to a doctor, access to, say, mental health services, therapy, things like that. All of this is a problem. Deaf Unity explain why learning British Sign Language, BSL, is very important, and you can see that in the description below. And here's some of the reasons. We should always be celebrating diversity in our communities, and often this is relatively easy. But for the deaf community, they can often be socially excluded because there is that language barrier. And this is something that's fairly easily fixable. We should be able to address this problem far more fluidly than we are. During the 2017 to 29 government in the UK, there was a big petition that was handed into them about introducing BSL into the national curriculum. The government's response was fairly flaky. It was basically that although it's not mandatory, not part of the national curriculum, schools were absolutely free to teach it if they want to. Scottish Parliament have taken steps to introduce it more comprehensively. And there are some personal reasons for learning BSL as well. It can help you with work opportunities. As a business, for example, being able to communicate with all your clients, including the hearing impaired, can only be advantageous, surely. Most importantly, for me personally, thinking about back to Lucas and him talking about that frustration of failed conversations. I'm personally also frustrated with myself on the other side of that conversation when I've had them, when it's failed and the failure is really totally down to me. So I don't want to do too much because people make a living out of this, so I don't want to give too much away, and also don't trust it because I may not be very good at it yet. But here's just a little bit just to prove I'm not fibbing. So just quickly-ish, the alphabet. And do subscribe, it's easy, it's free, you just press subscribe, but also press the little bell and then press the little bell that's coloured in so you always get notifications and never miss a video. Bye! So, I have started to learn British for years, and I mean years. I've been meaning to do this, making it my New Year's very reasonably priced. Yes. With great philosophy about philosophy. That's correct, Kev. represent a but have and are taking steps to introduce it. That word again, introducing. Introducing! I can say it with a stupid accent. Okay. Can I feed that in somehow?